So lastly, I wanted to talk a little bit about root, sudo, and packages that are installed in Linux. So Kali by default runs as a root user. In most distributions of Linux, the user is a standard user, and they may or may not have super user privileges. And the root is a separate account that you can run things as root, but root really runs with system level permissions. So it can access the kernel directly, and you don't always want every single click and keystroke that you make as a user to be able to access the kernel of the operating system. So it's really deep, very detailed permissions that not everything needs. So if you are using another version of Linux, you have to be familiar with the sudo command. So sudo really stands for super user do. And why it's not sudo, I don't know. But the super user, the sudo command, will run whatever comes after it with root permissions or with super user permissions. So some commands require sudo. For instance, if you try to kill a process, or if you try to use nano to modify a system file, it will not allow you to do so unless you are either logged in as root or begin your command with the sudo command. One other use you might want to use the sudo command is to go sudo su, which will elevate your entire terminal to root and allow you to run all future commands in that terminal window as if you were running it with sudo. So if you know that you're going to be running a lot of commands back to back to back as sudo, you might elevate the entire terminal to super user, but most people just get used to using sudo before certain commands. This becomes important when using the package manager. So the package manager is what is going to control all of the software that is installed on your computer. In Linux, packages describe everything from the software that you would click and open, and it's got a graphical user interface, and you can play games on it or get work, word processing, all of those different pieces of software that you can see and use. But there are also a lot of packages that are installed in the background that multiple packages will rely upon in order to work. And these are called dependencies. Dependencies are pieces to software, pieces to the packages that don't come by default. And so when you install software directly off of a website onto a Linux machine, you've got to make sure that you include all the dependencies. For Kali, apt is the default package manager. So we can go back to our old friend man and look up apt, and it will tell us a little bit about apt and how to use it. So apt is a high-level command line interface for the package management system. So you have some options. If you use apt-get, you can use the argument update. And a package list is a list of all of the software that is available in your repository. So Offensive Security, the company that makes Kali Linux, has a apt repository of software that is compatible with Kali Linux. And by default, it is already set up on your machine to access those packages. By using the apt-get update command, you can go to Kali's repository and download a fresh list of all the packages that are currently available from Kali. When you use the apt-get upgrade command, it will upgrade all of the packages that are on your computer to the newest ones that are available from Kali. There are also some other tools like full upgrade, dist upgrade, remove, auto remove, search, show, list, and you can use these to install new software, upgrade software, add dependencies that you might be missing. So pretty much anytime I want to go and add some new software that I didn't already have on here, I will use, so Q for quit, we use sudo apt get update, and I'm not hooked up to the internet, so it's going to come up with an error. And I will use sudo apt get install some package. And whatever package you've heard of, whatever software you've heard of is available on Kali Linux, it will probably be in the repository somewhere. There's a few tricks with searching the repository for some software that you want. Sometimes it includes some little differences like GTK or OpenGDK or JDK or some kind of identifiers at the beginning, and so sometimes you have to kind of play with the package list, or you can use show, or you can use search to search through the package list and find the one that you are looking for. Don't forget that when you're searching for a specific piece of software that you need to install onto Kali, tab autocomplete is your friend. So you can begin typing some long package name, and if you hit tab and it exists, it will automatically complete it for you. So that's a little bit about working with packages, installing new software, and sudo and the difference between Kali and other versions of Linux. If you have any questions, let me know.